It's ridiculous. I was talking to Marvin about it right before the first spring practice. And it was funny. I was talking to him. It was like this time last year, you're stressing. You know, you hope you remember the plays, and you go out there, you don't know what to expect. And then a year later, you're a lot more relaxed, confident. So it means the world.
How does that show up on the field, Kyle? I guess just being relaxed.
Right.
You feel like you're focused?
Yeah, I think it just slows everything down. From offensive standpoint, I think I'm not thinking about the playbook too much as I have it memorized, and then you're more so able to focus on the details while playing, and it's just everything's moving slower. So overall, really important.
What do you tell Devon Brown about being a freshman?
What's that?
What do you tell Devon Brown about being a freshman?
Just be confident when you go out there. I mean, he's done a great job this year. He came in January, put his head down and worked. So I just try to help. Like anything that I went through last year, I try to give him some tips on that, and he's done a great job handling it.
Because you're getting used to college, and you're getting used to all this. I mean, that's pretty enormous.
Right. I mean, it's just a huge adjustment going from, living with your family to coming out here and living on your own. That in itself is a lot to get used to, and then add the football on top of it. I mean, he definitely has a full plate, but he's done a really good job handling it.
Hey, Kyle, describe your game as a quarterback. Like, what do you do well out there? What do you still want to work on the most?
I think, I do a lot. I'm not a very, boastful type of guy, but I think I can make any throw. I think I run the offense well. I make good decisions with the ball. But, I mean, overall, I think, there's not really one area that I'd say, I want to improve on. It's everything. I don't think I'll ever be comfortable with, one area and say, I don't need to work on that. I can focus on something else. I think it's just the overall, my overall game, just continuing to get better in every single area.
Kyle, you came in obviously as a five-star guy, competed for the job last year.
Right.
Long shot for two freshmen.
Right.
CJ's clearly entrenched.
Right.
The question is, why did you stay? What do you think your long-term future is? How confident are you that at some point you'll be able to take the reins and run with it?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a marathon, not a sprint. And looking at it from the bigger picture, I think coming here, you realize how well you're coached by Coach Day, Coach Dennis, Coach Fitch. So that was really important to me. And on top of that, I feel like, just being here, I learned a lot. And so, I know that a lot of people thought, I could have left and went somewhere else and tried to start this year. But, in the long term, I thought it was the best decision for me to stay here and continue to get developed.
Was there ever a time you were tempted?
No. During the season, I was just focused on the season, and then I just let everything work itself out. So I was never really thinking about it, but I know a lot of people were trying to put words in my mouth, but no.
Is it wild to you at all that you've been here 15 months and the nature of your position is that you get asked questions?
Man, it's crazy. It is crazy. I'm still close with Jack and Quinn, and we talk about it. Just the talent in that room last year was unbelievable, and I think people are going to look back on that room in 5-10 years and be like, wow, we had 4 really special guys, and so it definitely is crazy just the way everything played out, but I think it all played out in the right way.
Kyle, as close as you guys are, it had to still help you in some ways to narrow your focus, maybe, that Quinn and Jack aren't here?
Yeah. I talked to them about it during the season, and I think we were all on the same page that we were just going to compete every day, and so we weren't really worried about what was the off season going to look like. And then when those two guys made their decisions to leave, I think it definitely kind of cleared up everything. But other than that, I just told them go out there and compete, wish them the best of luck. But like I said, I think that was just an unbelievably talented room.
I would have to think, maybe it's just me, maybe you don't feel this way, but the path looks a lot more clear now. There's no uncertainty about maybe what will happen a year from now.
Right.
Is that part of the comfort for you as well? Or?
I think definitely if you look at it from that perspective, yeah, I think there's still a long way to go from now until next year. So I'm just focused on the present. But when you look at the long-term picture, I guess you could say it cleared itself up.
And if you had to play, if something happened to CJ and you had to step in, how much more comfortable are you now than you were last year?
Yeah, it's night and day. It really is. I think when you go through a full off season and then a full season and then another full off season, it's just you see things from a different perspective. And like I said earlier, I think just picking up on the little details now is really the biggest thing. And I think that's where I've grown the most. The game's slowing down, so I think just a combination of all that, it's just a confidence boost when you step out there in the field.
Your dad played college quarterback. How much did it help you having that background? You can talk to him.
Right.
You probably went through something similar.
Right. Growing up with him, it was probably the best thing that's ever happened to me, having a father that played Division I football at quarterback, and he's helped me in every single area of my life, and I think the good thing about him is I can, turn around, talk to him, and just kind of bounce some ideas and see what he thinks. And he's always going to give me his honest feedback, whether it's, something I want to hear or whether or not. But, he's definitely my biggest critic and my biggest fan. So having him in my corner is really good.
Kyle, what was the week of the Akron game?
Yeah, it was wild. I mean, wasn't sure if CJ was going to play up until about Tuesday or Wednesday, and then when I got the green light, it was kind of like surreal almost, knowing that I was a true freshman starting my first game. But I think it kind of wore off around like Thursday, Friday, and then really had to lock in and focus. And it definitely was, looking back on it, was a really cool experience.
How much do you still think about that game? Like in the grand scheme of the season, maybe people don't think about the Akron game,
Right.
but that was your
Yeah, I think that game was a great learning experience because you can practice and watch film all you want, but nothing is like the real deal when you step out there in the field. So just the amount of things that I learned, starting one game, it's ridiculous. So I think that was just a great stepping stone, helping me develop faster and just learn the overall game.
If you look back on it, what are the things you remember